Hello everyone, and welcome here. My name is Sarah, and I have been in an art funk for too long. I am an artist, or at least that's how I've thought of myself for the longest time, until more recently, as I found myself spending less and less time with my creative practice, to the end that it has gradually transformed into sporadic making at best, and I don't like that. But the motivation to restart has felt cumbersome and daunting. So I've set myself a challenge. I'm going to draw, sketch, paint, any other medium, every day for the next week. It doesn't have to be good. In fact, I imagine I'll feel rather disappointed some days. It's the joy of making that I'm looking to re-spark, and so it's the doing part that I'm most interested in, rather than the quality of what I make, which naturally ebbs and flows, as it always does. So join me as I attempt to reconnect with my own artistic practice, and maybe it will inspire you to do the same. Now seems as good a moment as any to say a big hello and welcome to everyone who has joined the channel in the last week or so. And if this is your first visit here, then welcome. It is so lovely to have you join us, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's a very special feeling to realise that people care about what you make or what you have to say. We're all working through our own stuff, but it feels incredible that sharing my thoughts or the things that are bringing me joy can resonate with people that I've never met or are halfway across the world. So thank you. fix for me today. I decided not to film my process yesterday because I was just in the mood to make without thinking about all the extra stuff that goes along with filming it. That being said, before I dive into today's session and show you that process, I'm just going to catch you up with what I made so you can see what I got up to. First piece that I made is this crow. This was done in some highlighter, actually, some purple highlighter underneath, and then I worked into it with oil pastel, but I do think I slightly overworked this one. So I decided to simplify it and just really look at the silhouette. So this is just ink and water, and I actually much prefer how this one turned out. And so I decided to do another piece just using a monochromatic palette, so just using the ink. So I did this little garden themed one, little bugs and mushrooms and some foliage. Just working with one colour can actually be a nice step away. You really learn about tonal variations, and sometimes you don't want to just use a black ink, so I was really pleased that I went with this blue colour. Then I was feeling something quite fun, so I did this little frog. This is with a little bit of ink underneath and then layered with some watercolour pencil and some oil pastel. There's also the kind of additional creativity that I've had to employ so far. I'm staying at my parents' house at the moment, and it's lovely, but it means that I don't have access to my usual materials, and so I'm really just scrounging what I've left here over the years, reimagining how I might use those, and just enjoying the process of getting to know those materials again in a different light, utilising what's given to me or what I have access to and making the most of it, and leaning outside of my comfort zone a little bit, which naturally just kind of adds this element of playfulness. So it's been really nice to just have this have a go mentality re-sparked for me. Lastly, I finished with the biggest of pieces. It's just really nice to work on a slightly larger scale, and so far it's just using some watercolour, but I'm planning to work into it today to add a bit more depth and detail and some definition specifically through the foliage areas. And then we've got this kind of area at the front which is really lacking interest and definition right now, but so far I actually really like it. So now that you're all caught up and you can see what I've done so far, I think we can very happily jump into today's making session. Our neighbour put out some gorgeous flowers earlier this week, and I thought they were the perfect subject for the last day of this 7-day challenge. So while you watch me paint away, I thought I'd give some last reflections on how the whole thing has been. This week was also a bit of a tough mental health week, but throughout this week I found that making has alleviated stress, acted as a vessel for my thoughts or emotions, or simply become a space to detach from whatever is on my mind and just use my hands. But it was also difficult, and I know for me personally, doing this every single day just isn't sustainable going forwards. However, I definitely have re-inspired my love of art making, and that feels really great, and was overall the main purpose of doing this in the first place. So if you too are feeling in a bit of an art funk, or maybe even just in general not feeling your best, I think I'd recommend doing something similar yourself. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in another one soon. Take care, and goodbye.